Most welcome to all of you in my YouTube channel Glimpse of Success. From today, I will going to start a new classes for physics of standard 12. So today we will discuss a very important topic, electrostatics, discovery of charge and Coulomb's law. In this topic, we will discuss types of charges, conservation law of charges, Coulomb's law, quantization of charge. First of all, we will discuss how the name charge comes and the types of charge. A great philosopher Thales found that amber material is rubbed with wool, then that becomes electrified. So when an amber material is rubbed with wool, then this becomes electrified, and a capacity of attraction of light particles like straw and light seed is arise in that amber material. After some time, another scientist named Gilbert came and he done a lot of experiment and found that not only in the case of amber, there are so many other types of material like graphite, glass, ebonite. These types of rod are when rubbed, then they also become electrified. It means whenever glass rod, ebonite rod or amber material is rubbed, then that becomes electrified and starts to attract light particles like straw and seed and light seed. After some time, it was found that when a glass rod is rubbed with and ebonite rod. Two rods are taken. First one was glass rod, second one was ebonite rod. When glass rod was rubbed with silk and ebonite rod was rubbed with cat skin. So it was found that when glass rod is rubbed with silk, then this becomes electrified and also starts to attract the light particles like straw. And the rod ebonite is also taken. This rod is when rubbed with the cat skin, then this becomes also electrified. It means glass rod and ebonite rod both becomes charged. Now, two glass rods are taken and both are rubbed with the silk, and both rods suspended with the help of a thread very closer to each other, that it was found that both rods start to repel to each other. And when two ebonite rods were taken and rubbed with the cat skin, also suspended freely with the help of a thread, then it was found that both ebonite rods start to repel to each other. So it was clear that the both glass rod which was suspended both contains the same charge, like charges. And also in the case of ebonite rod, both ebonite rod when rubbed with the cat skin then contains the like charges, because we know that like charges repel to each other. It means when two glass rods are suspended, then they repel to each other. It means in both the glass rods, charge present is same. Also in the case of ebonite rod, they start to repel to each other, then it is clear that the charge present in both the ebonite rod is same. Now another experiment was done. A glass rod and another one is taken ebonite rod. Glass rod is rubbed with silk, then this becomes charged, and the ebonite rod was rubbed with cat skin, then this becomes charged. In the last experiment, this glass rod was suspended with the help of thread very closer to the ebonite rod, which is charged when it one is rubbed with the cat skin. So this one is suspended. So in this case, it was observed that both rod, means glass rod and ebonite rod, starts to attract to each other. So it was clear from this experiment that the charge present in ebonite rod is not same as the charge present in glass rod. Both the charge present in glass rod and charge present in ebonite rod, both are different. Benjamin Franklin, a scientist named Benjamin Franklin done a lot of experiments and gave a conclusion that two types of charges are present in the nature. After his experiment, he said the glass rod, which one is rubbed with the silk, that becomes positively charged, and another rod, ebonite rod, which one was rubbed with the cat skin, that one is negatively charged. So on the basis of the observation of Benjamin Franklin, we can say that two types of charges are present. There are two types of charges. One of them is positive charge and another of them is negative charge. This types of charges was given on the basis of the conclusion given by the Benjamin Franklin. Again, glass rod, the charge present on the glass rod is positive and the charge present on the ebonite rod when rubbed with the cat skin is negative. So, and this conclusion is also find that like charges repel to each other, and unlike charges attract to each other. It means we can say that when two positively charged rods will come closer to each other, then they will start to repel. Positively charged or two negatively charged. Like charges means the charge present on both the rods must be same. Both may be positively charged or both may be negatively charged. So whenever two like charges, both may be positive or both may be negative, then they will start to repel. Unlike charges means one of them must be positively charged and another of them must be negatively charged. So when two unlike charged rods, charged particles are come closer to each other, then the attraction will arise in that case. So it was clear that two types of charges are present. One of them is positive charge and another of them is negative charge. Again one more time, glass rod is rubbed with the silk, then the charge present in the glass rod is positive. Ebonite rod is rubbed with the cat skin, then the charge produces in the ebonite rod is negative. Whenever any rod, generally we find that any marker or any pen is taken and when you rub with the hair, then you find that this also becomes electrified and starts to attract very teeny sheet or paper, very teeny straw or paper sheet. So it means whenever we rubbed this type of materials with a particular material or a particular silk, wool or the cat skin or the human hair, then that rod and that materials becomes electrified. After it was clear that two charges are present, one of them is positive, another of them is negative. Now we will discuss the property of the charge. Charge is conserved. Charge can never be destroyed and nor be created. Like our energy, as we know that energy cannot be produced, cannot be created or cannot be destroyed. like energy, charges cannot be destroyed and cannot be created. This follows the quantization. Quantization of charge. Quantization of charge means this charge cannot be divided easily. This one cannot be divided. Charge, symbol of charge is Q. This one is the symbol of the charge. Charge is represented by the symbol Q, and the formula, general formula of the charge in terms of the current, Q is equal to I into T, where I is the current and T is the time. So this charge Q is the product of current, electric current, and time. Q is equal to I into T. The unit of charge is coulomb. Unit of charge is coulomb. And the dimensional formula of the charge is AT. This one is the dimensional formula of charge. Unit of charge is coulomb. Unit of current is ampere. And unit of time is second. So ampere second is called coulomb. So SI unit means the unit of charge is coulomb and the dimensional formula of charge is AT. So this one is the formula of charge. Now the quantization of charge, Q is equal to N into E, where N is the integers. Where N is integers. We know that three types of integers: negative integer, positive integer, and zero integer. It means the value of n can vary from minus to plus value, 0, plus 1, plus 2, plus 3, and so on. And the negative integer is minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. So it means from this expression it is clear that charge is quantized and cannot be divisible elementary. This n represents the integers. This integers, this may be not negatively, only 0 and positive integers. These integers will be positive and 0 integers. When the charge will be negative, then this value, when the charge, here if we have taken electrons, and we know that charge of electron is minus 1.6 into 10 raised to the power minus 19 coulomb. So when the charge will be negative and the number of electrons, number of the charge particles, if you have taken any integers, suppose 3 is taken, then Q will be equal to n is taken 3. For example, 3 into E. So E represents the charge of electron, and charge of electron minus 1.6 into 10 raised to the power minus 19 coulomb. So Q total charge will be minus 4.8 into 10 raised to the power minus 19 coulomb. So this charge is quantized, and this one is a additive quantity. Suppose any number E, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 are taken, then we can add easily. So total charge Q will be equal to Q1 plus Q2 plus Q3. It means charge is additive. Charge is additive, charge is quantized, and charge follows the conservation law. So there are the three important properties of the charge: conservation of charge, quantization of charge, and additive. It is additive quantity. Now the next topic is Coulomb's law. Coulomb's law was given by the Coulomb, and this gives a formula for the electrostatic force which acts between two charged particles. So whenever two charged particles, it is not clear that both may be positively charged, both are negatively charged, or one of them is positive charge or one of them is negative charge. So whenever two charged particles are taken at a finite distance, then according to Coulomb's law, the electrostatic force acting between them is directly proportional to the product of charges and inversely proportional to the square of separation between them. This law was given by Coulomb to calculate the electrostatic force, and it was also clear that whenever we will take the like charges, then the nature of the electrostatic force will be attractive, and when the like charges, then the nature of electrostatic force will be repulsive, and when the unlike charges will be present, then the nature of the electrostatic force will be attractive. Suppose two charged particles are taken, one of them is Q1, another of them is Q2, and both are separated by a finite distance r. This one is these two charged particles Q1, Q2, both are separated from each other by a distance r. So according to Coulomb's law, the electrostatic force acting between these two charged particles Q1 and Q2, this electrostatic force is directly proportional to the product of the charges. So product of charges is product of Q1 and Q2, and this one is inversely proportional to the square of the separation between the charges. So separation between the Q1 and Q2 is R, according to Coulomb's law, as directly proportional to Q1, Q2 and inversely proportional to R square, where Q1, Q2 is the charge of the charged particle and R is the separation between the charged particles. Now we will combine these two statements, then finally we can write as directly proportional to Q1 multiplied with Q2 divided by R square. This one is a proportionality sign. We will remove this proportionality sign and use a constant which one is called K. So K Q1 into Q2 upon R square. This K is proportionality constant. And the value of this proportionality constant is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0. This one is epsilon 0. Epsilon 0 into Q1 Q2 upon R square. Here epsilon 0 is equal to K is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0. What is epsilon 0? Epsilon 0 is called electric permittivity for free space. Electric permittivity for free space. Electric permittivity for free space. When these two charged particles when we will take these two charged particles in vacuum or in free space, then the electric permittivity of that free space is represented by the symbol epsilon 0. This one is called epsilon 0. Epsilon 0 is called electric permittivity for free space. So this is the formula of the electrostatic force given by the Coulomb acting between the two charged particles in free space or also in vacuum. Now we will discuss what are the main important features of this Coulomb's law. This Coulomb's law is applicable only for the point size charged particle. Point size charged particles, and here the value of epsilon, here the value of 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 is 9.0 into 10 raised to the power 9. Value of K, this one is also called K because the value of K is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0, and this is equal to 9.0 into 10 raised to the power 9, and its unit is Newton meter square in Coulomb to the power -2. Newton meter square per Coulomb square. How This one is the value of K, 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. So the value of 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0, 9.0 10 raised to power 9 Newton meter square Coulomb to the power minus 2. This one is the unit of this K. K. Now epsilon 0, which one is called electric permittivity for free space, its value is 8.854 into 10 raised to the power minus 12. The value of epsilon naught is 8.854 into 10 to the power minus 12 and its unit is Coulomb square upon Newton meter square. This one is the value of epsilon 0. Epsilon 0, electric permittivity for free space. So the nature of this electrostatic force may be repulsive or may be attractive. It will depend on the nature of the charges. So when the charges will be like, means like charges, then the nature of the force, for like charges, the nature of force will be repulsive, and for unlike charges, the nature of the force will be attractive, This one is the nature of force. So it is clear that the nature of this electrostatic force will depend on the nature of the charged particles. If both will be positively charged, then the nature of the force will be repulsive, and both will be negatively charged, then also it will be repulsive. But when one of them will be positively charged and another of them will be negatively charged, then the nature of this electrostatic force will be attractive. So it is clear that the nature of electrostatic force totally depends on the nature of the charged particle which are interacting in this force. Now we will discuss about the properties of electrostatic force. First property, electrostatic force may be repulsive or may be attractive. It depends on the nature of the charged particle which are interacting in this force. Property number 2, this electrostatic force follows inverse square law. This follows inverse square law. Why we are saying inverse square law? It follows the inverse square law because according to Coulomb's law, force is inversely proportional to R square. So whenever any force is inversely proportional to the distance between the charged particles, then that is said that follows the inverse square law. So this electrostatic force follows the inverse square law. Property number 3. This force is central force. Electrostatic force is central force. Property number 4. Electrostatic force always acts between the charged particles. Means if you have taken uncharged particles, then this electrostatic force, this Coulomb's law will not be applicable. For example, if you have taken 2 neutrons and we know that neutrons contains no any charge, it is neutral, then the electrostatic force will not act between these 2 neutrons. So it one is very important that Coulomb's law is applicable only for the point side charged particles. It one is not applicable for the uncharged particle. It means electrostatic force you will get whenever 2 charged particles will act